Hello, hello. Jump scare, maybe. Sometimes that's what happens when I come on mic. That's right, I come on my mic. You heard it here first. Every goddamn time I come here to watch the stream, I need to reauthorize with Google. Is this normal? No, it isn't. You might need to try deleting your cookies. That would be my first guess. In the immortal words of Irate Gamer, hello, hello! God, I can't... That was embarrassing, my voice cracked. Hello, hello! Something like that. How's everyone doing? Welcome to the stream. It's a small stream today. How did you find this wham? You got here before I even announced it on Discord. What's going on? Finally finished my Golang bot. Also, please implement a logout feature. You can log out through ways. just use a different. Just stop using your auth token. Discord status. Yeah, I've noticed that leaks that I'm ever stream. If I ever do an unlisted YouTube stream, my Discord status leaks that I'm doing it, regardless of the fact that it's unlisted. I found the links to the 2 last streams. Good news, you don't actually have to save the links. You can actually just go to my channel, youtube.com/MattKC, and there will be a playlist of my VODs below. Like, scroll down a bit and you'll see them. You're still high enough up on my DMs for it to show if I'm messaging people. That's right. I'm a kind of a big deal. Also, goddamn, sorry about your ATI GPU. That's sad. I was having fun on Roblox. That's okay. You can keep having fun on Roblox. You don't have to tune into the stream. Been exploring some DVHS rips my friend posted. Hell yeah. I actually don't know much about DVHS, but wasn't that the it's digital VHS obviously. Wasn't that the there's that famous video of like HD footage from New York in 1993. Yeah, that was a DVHS tape. Wild. Let me get a browser going so I can open that up. Haven't streamlined this process yet. What? How have I typed my password in wrong 3 times? What? I'm literally not typing it in wrong though. Oh my god, okay. What happened to my password? Alright, well, that's something I'll have to figure out at some point. The fact that my password just doesn't work anymore. Anyway. So, that's okay. I can get into the I can get into my browser through other means. Here we go. Yeah. Why don't you let us type it in? My password. Yeah, you're right. You're right. I'll tell you what it is, then you can type it in for me. Great idea. Yeah, I don't know anything about DVHS apart from the fact that it managed to get HD footage in New York in 1993, which is pretty cool. You never usually see footage this or candid footage at least that's this high res. Imagine being one of these people and being immortalized forever on YouTube. Guys, if you type your password in chat, it'll censor it. True. It will. It actually will. Especially if your password is hunted too. Yes, indeed. How's everyone doing? So I actually have an announcement. I've been saying for weeks now that the source code to this chatbot would be released. It is finally released. It is finally, if you go to... it's metkc/kc chat server. Here it is. That's right. It's written in C++, so get your CMake out. I'm not. I want to make it clear if you're planning on writing like a bot or a client or something like that. This is still. I consider this still under development. I consider this. So things may change without warning. So keep that in mind. CMake. There's nothing wrong with CMake. It's the foundation of many C++ programs. Anyway, so yeah, you can go check that out if you want. I think the source code I think is in reasonable condition. So feel free to have a look. Search your feelings. That's right. Search your feelings, wham. You know it to be true. Live chat API when? I don't know if there'll ever be an API. I mean, that doesn't really need to be an API. It just comes down to the WebSocket protocol. CMake on Windows, more like pure pain. Okay, you're right, actually. If you're on Windows, big sad reacts. Sag in chat for C++ developers on Windows. Are we talking about C's god-awful tooling? Yes, at least on Windows. I'd say on other platforms, it's reasonably okay. But yeah, Windows, the problem with C++ and C on Windows is the dependency management, or lack thereof. Hi Matt, what case do you have and what specs? So if you want to see my specs, I've actually posted them on the forum before. Yo, type in !forum and you can go to the forum, and there's a whole thread about people posting their PC specs, and I've posted mine, as well as some rationalizations behind why I've made the choices that I have. As far as the case I'm using, I have a fun fact for everyone. Currently, it is no case. I'll talk about this. I have a video coming up. I filmed a setup tour for shits and giggles, and have been experimenting with having my PC on my desk because my desk is quite wide, and so I figured I kind of had to have the space. I have space underneath my monitor to put a horizontal, an old pizza box PC, and I played around with using one, but then found that it was a little too small, and it didn't let me use as many PCIe cards as I wanted. So that's why I started building my own case, because I looked up, horizontal PC cases are fairly niche at this point. No one really uses them. So I looked up what the options out there, and there's basically very little that actually fits what I would want to do. And that's why I decided I would finally just build my own for fun. But I haven't finished building it yet, and I wanted to use those PCIe cards I mentioned, so I was just like, well, fuck it. I'll just splay everything out on the desk under my monitor, so I can actually send a photo. You're all going to be very upset. Have you tried just buying a test bench? I did think about that. I assume you mean like one of those open PC cases you can buy. I did think about doing that. The reason why I decided not to is because I actually do want something. I want my my case to be something I can stack things on. And I know you could probably work something out with a test bench, but also the thing about the test bench was that it still wasn't as low as I want. I wanted it under my monitor, but I wanted maximum space under my monitor so I could put other things like my audio interface. And I found that a lot of the open PC cases are still kind of designed to be in a... well, they're still kind of higher than I would want them to be. So, yeah. But we'll see. I mean, my case is almost... I'd say it's like 85% done. At least the like skeleton of it. And I'll be making a video about that and showing that in more detail at some point. At least you're honest, Matt. What does that mean? Does that would the average YouTuber just would they lie? Would they lie about their PC case? Matt KCOS when? Years and years ago, I did think about what it would be like to write an OS, but I decided it's almost certainly not worth the effort. Yeah, it just isn't. There's that one that's interesting on, it's not called this anymore. Someone is trying to, React OS is basically a recreation of Windows. And someone is making, I guess it's now called Raven OS. It used to be called Arix. And it's a remake of macOS on FreeBSD. Well, it's not, that's probably underselling it. It's using the code from FreeBSD which macOS is based on BSD. I think it might even be based on FreeBSD. And it's using components from FreeBSD to kind of recreate macOS. And I think that's really cool. It's very ambitious. I mean, this is probably a decades-long project right here. But it's very cool. I'm very interested in it. That being said, I probably won't make my own OS anytime soon. If I did, it would probably be very boring. It would probably just be a variant of Arch or something. FreeBSD components plus XNU. Yes, correct. And obviously a lot of the GUI stuff is completely closed source, so that needs to be reverse engineered, I suppose. And I guess it makes sense because I've learned that whether a company chooses Linux or FreeBSD is almost entirely based on whether they're going to open source it or not. Because the BSD license unlike the GPL, doesn't require you to open source your derivative work. So, for example, the PS4 OS, based on FreeBSD. And that means they don't have to release, they don't have to open source the PS4 OS. And I guess the same with macOS. So Poor FreeBSD. It's so sad. They have such a nice, FreeBSD has such a nice operating system that no one uses because the commercial support is even worse than Linux. And all the people that do use it just kind of steal the code and to make their own closed source OSs. So anyway, with stuff like this, I assume it'd be open source. I assume Raven OS would be, but and you know, components. There are some parts of Mac OS that are, but obviously, yeah, for, PS4 OS isn't. Since when did you have the KCPFP? What do you mean, the watermark? That's been there for years. Drew DeVault. Drew, why does nobody want to use my miserable 30-year-old alternative to GitHub that uses email default? This is a reference I'm not aware of. I assume this is another YouTuber. The pain of using NVIDIA and being blocked out by the BSDs. Yeah. Yep. It's, like, on paper, everything I've read about BSD seems like it's probably a better OS than Linux. It's just that it's already hard enough to get like commercial or to get widespread support for Linux, and then so by using Linux, you're using like 1% of the OS space or the OS market share. You're in the 1%, the bottom 1%, not the top 1%. And then to use FreeBSD as a desktop OS is like the bottom 1% of that 1%. So, yeah. Is a blogger and also developer, who lots of people seem to like. Interesting. The PFP on your YouTube? PFP hasn't changed in years either. I've had the same branding for, gosh, now that it's 2023, 7 years. It'll be 7 years since I created my branding this year. In my opinion, Microsoft has really not done anything substantially bad to GitHub. They had that controversy with using other people's code, but that doesn't make the service unusable, and I personally don't care about my code being used for Copilot. Sure, I agree. Yeah, I'm pretty unfazed. I know that I think I get the principle, especially of like older people being like, Microsoft, look how they massacred my boy. But like, more recently, they've been a little bit more. I mean, I know, corporations are not your friend, but they have been a little more open source friendly. So I'm not, I'm not necessarily. I was never too concerned about that. BSDs are really cute. Like if I wanted my own custom shit, it would be BSD. Yeah, absolutely. I really like BSD in principle, but I don't know how I'd feel if I actually tried to use it for like a main OS. If anything, they made the private repos free. That's true. That's been nice. That's been enjoyable. You should make an OS that can only subscribe to you. Oh god. But no, but who's gonna use it? I'm gonna go now. Thanks for stopping by, Solar Strike. Ah, I got something in my eye. Ah, shit. So you might be wondering, why am I doing this small, non-public stream? And I've been, well, I suppose we can have a candid chat. I've been enjoying, so as most of the people here were also on my Twitch streams, and I invested a large amount of time into making a chat interface that would allow me to stream on YouTube fairly without much incident. Didn't realize it's not public. That's why the chat is so calm. Yes, it is only. I only announced it on Discord. I might announce it on Twitter and on YouTube community. I didn't even realize this was unlisted. Fuck, Discord really does call you out. It really does. I've done YouTube test streams before, and and people have just showed up and been like, "Hey Matt, what are you testing?" And I'm like, I didn't think anyone was going to be here. It's a little embarrassing. But yeah, it like it really does leak your your personal unlisted streams. What if I was leaking my social security number on a YouTube stream, unlisted, and I thought it was unlisted, and then someone just showed up because of Discord? What then? What are you testing, Matt? Tell us, please. And I'll be like, ah, shit. How did you get here? This was supposed to be just me. I guess it's been about a month. Well, it hasn't actually been about a month. It's probably been like 2 weeks, to be honest, where I've been experimenting with streaming publicly with my own chat. And I thought it'd be interesting to talk about how I feel about it. How I feel about the migration from Twitch to YouTube. So positives. I actually really like my chat. I know that we get questions every time I stream, like, why did you bother writing your own chat? And I'm like, I mean, if you don't know, you don't know. I feel like I can't just if you don't know why YouTube chat sucks, then I can't really explain it to you. You have to just kind of feel it. When you hover over a message has a chance of wrapping. Yeah, I've noticed that. I tried to, that's a CSS meme. I tried to play around with the CSS so that I could so that wouldn't happen, but I couldn't fucking figure out how to make that I couldn't figure out how to not make that happen. Not yet, at least. I haven't figured out the one magic line of CSS that's going to magically fix it, that's going to be completely obscure. Allocate the space for the reply feature even it's hidden. I don't know if I'd do that. I think I would just overlay it, because you don't really need to, like, you kind of get it if you like, I feel like just having a margin, because having a blank margin at the right is kind of gross. I feel like I just want it to like overlay, but then it has to kind of sit in a way, it has to sit in a way that it doesn't interfere with the text somehow. So yeah, I actually really like the chat. There were always two things that I felt like were keeping me on Twitch. It was the interface and the culture. And I feel like not to toot my own horn, I feel like we have kind of fixed the interface. I know that, you know, it's a very much a kitchen sink approach to write a whole stream platform, but I like it. I actually, in some ways, again, not to toot my own horn, in some ways I think it almost there are some things I like about it better than Twitch. Some things that I think are a little bit nicer. Why is the skull emoji not in the emoji table? I actually answered this before, and you ask this all the time. The emoji table is not that, actually, technically none of them are emojis. It's a if you want to get technical, it's an emote table. There are no emojis in it at all. That's why there's no skull emoji, because the amount of emojis in there is 0. Anyway. So yeah, I think I actually kind of like this chat. I'm pretty proud of how it turned out. That being said, I think there's still it's an odd thing to try and turn an existing audience into kind of a live audience. I feel like if you started as a streamer, you would start at 0 and you'd kind of build up your audience and build up your culture from there. Whereas if you start with like, I don't know, 200 or 300 viewers, and you haven't built that up from 0, it's kind of I feel like it's kind of an odd culture that we get on YouTube, in the sense that, and that sound that sounds meaner than I probably mean it, but in the sense that I don't think a lot of the people that come in are necessarily interested in the live stream. I think what they're interested in is they see a YouTuber they like, which is very flattering, obviously, but they see a YouTuber they like, and they kind of see an opportunity to get their attention. And so that's where you see people spamming questions like, "What do you think of Garfield?" Or "What's your the things like that, and things that it's like, I feel like if I mean, Q&A can be fun, but I feel like if that's all that the streams are, there's not really a lot of content. If all I do is get on stream and answer questions and give my opinions, I feel like I should be doing something that's a little more entertaining. I feel like I want to do things that are more entertaining. I want to, try to, for lack of a better word, make content. And so it's an odd thing, and maybe it would happen organically over time. The more I streamed, the more it might just happen, that the culture would build. But it's been an interesting experience, I think. I think it's what's been nice is that it has been nice to stream to more of my existing audience, to more of my larger audience base on YouTube. But arguably, there's I think you could argue that perhaps the quality of the chat has gone down a little as a result, and I'm not sure. Like part of that might just be because of the larger size, but like I said, I think it's probably I feel like it's something about the fact that the culture there's no organic live culture on YouTube. It's just it's a video watching audience that has kind of that is seeing an opportunity to get, like I said, get their a content creator's attention rather than necessarily be involved in the live content. There's some questions that I missed because I was rambling. Well, what do you think of Garfield? Oh God. I mean, Garfield is a great piece of marketing and character design. The comics can be vaguely amusing. The movie is awful. I'm not looking forward to the movie starring Chris Pratt. That's about it. What do you think of Garfield Kart? I haven't played it. Found this. Hang on. All right, what's this? I feel like is this a screenshot from one of my videos? Did I do this stretched face at some point? I feel like I did. It's an interesting point because Twitch has culture. Yeah, I almost feel like if you go to Twitch, if you're like, because I've talked about before that it's infamously hard to get people from YouTube over to Twitch. You see people, YouTubers with 1 million, even 10 million subs on YouTube, and they only get about 100 viewers on Twitch. That's low, medium size, and they might be massive on YouTube. It's infamously hard. And I thought, well, wouldn't it be interesting to try and bring the stream to them? In a way that's like, and with my own custom chat, in a way that's not very, in a way that's a bit better than your average YouTube experience. But I almost wonder if it's actually the other way around, that it's the people that would bother to go to Twitch are other people that you'd want. Maybe you don't necessarily want a lot of the other people. That's not to say, I obviously appreciate my YouTube audience a lot. But I find that, I think, what I've been finding is that I've been having to work harder to bring content, because it feels like when Oh my god. Um, I found the skull emoji. Yes, you actually can type in colon emoji and it will work. You can type in sunglasses. I think that should work. Yeah, and it'll convert to a Unicode emoji. It arguably should convert to Twimoji instead, because that's more kind of universal. It doesn't rely on your system having all the emoji on it. That being said, I guess if you're on Mac OS, Mac OS and iOS have that. They integrate their emojis together very well. So maybe you like the Apple emojis. My stream is out of sync. Yeah, That's something that. So, here's the only problem I have with the YouTube player, because I actually like the YouTube player a bit better than Twitch's. I like that you can just kind of rewind if like something happens and you weren't paying attention, you can just rewind it a bit and then watch it and then go back to live. That I think is really, really hard to do on Twitch, and I like YouTube's player for that. The only thing I don't like about it is that it seems that when you load up this page, stream.mattkc.com, it seems that the time is set when the page loads. So when you hit play, it like starts at that point rather than at the point where you hit play. So you might have opened it and then it might have taken you like 10 seconds to realize that you had to click play, or to like sign in with Google and fill in your display name. And then when you hit play, it's already like 30 seconds behind or a minute behind. Oh shit, Tomoji might be dead. I didn't know that. I guess that makes sense. They have a whole new leader and shit, as you say, Mr. Rocket Man. YouTube's latency is mid. There is an option here for so YouTube stream latency. There are 3 options. There's normal latency, whatever that means. There's low latency, which is what it's set to now, and then there's ultra low latency. Maybe it would be better if I set it to ultra low latency. It doesn't. The thing is, it doesn't tell me anything about like how much latency that really is, or like how much to expect, and whether how much that's going to affect like people with poor connections, because I know that's like the thing, is that like latency versus connection quality. Damn, that's sad that Twimoji might be dead, because that's used like everywhere. Normal is like 2030, ultra low might be lower than low. Yeah, it should be, but I've never tried it just because I assume like I just have a feeling that maybe there's the reason, like, because I think it defaulted to low, and I was like, well, maybe there's a good reason for that. Maybe maybe it's dangerous somehow to set it to ultra low. But I can give it a try maybe next time. It doesn't let me change it now. I assume I have to like stop the stream and start a new one. As someone from a 300,000 size town in the middle of nowhere, Brazil, I just like to talk about tech. Hell yeah. Normal is like 20 to 30 seconds. That makes sense. I know that Twitch's latency used to be like, 8 years ago used to be something like 20 seconds. This is delayed. Even with you check if the player has like it's got like a live button next to the play button. If that is red, if it's not red, then then at least the player knows you're behind. If it is red, then it thinks it's live, and therefore that's how much latency there really is. But yeah, what I've been finding on streaming on YouTube is that I'm having to kind of work harder to. I hate sounding so pretentious saying this, to bring content or to make content, because like back in some of the Twitch streams, I remember stuff like the Bill Gates, going to the Bill Gates Xbox thing, that kind of just emerged from back and forth with the chat. It kind of it happened very organically, that it started from some Japanese Xbox controller and then devolved into a whole rabbit hole. And I like those rabbit holes. I like investigating stuff live on stream with chat. But what I'm finding is that the YouTube chat, I get partially because there's so much of it. It's a lot more frequent, so it's harder to have that back and forth. But also, I think because like I said, there are a lot of people who aren't really there for the stream; they're just there to get my attention. Um, it's easy to instead just kind of get caught up rambling about tech answers to tech questions for like 4 minutes at a time. Someone will ask me what my favorite Linux distro is, and I'll be rambling for like 4 minutes, and then someone will ask me about how I feel about Android custom ROMs, and I'll be rambling for like 4 minutes, and it just feels like that's not really a lot of fun. Like it's cool to, it's cool to have an audience that is interested in how I feel about things, but I feel like I don't want that to be all that my streams are. I want to have more of a, I want there to be more of a reason for people to keep coming back, if that makes sense. So and I'm not sure yet how to solve this issue of it feels like I'm working harder to kind of, it feels like in order to, what it used to feel like is that I could kind of rely on, if I didn't have any ideas, I could kind of rely on the chat to give me ideas, and we could cover stuff, and we could start looking into stuff. But it feels like more so now that I'm having to almost ignore chat to kind of keep things focused and keep an idea happening, and keep keep a subject, stay in one subject rather than jumping around to a million subjects. And that's kind of unfortunate, I feel. Are we making this stream public? I don't think so, not this one, because I've already I've talked a lot of shit about the public YouTube audience. The year is 2100. Matt has answered all questions of life, now trying universes instances. Oh god. You could explicitly say tangents will be ignored. I could, but it's not so much I feel like that it's not something that can be, the thing is I try to ignore tangents, but it's a tough kind of balancing act, because people also get mad if you ignore the chat. I know a lot of moderators in here know this from experience, that people will keep spamming questions, and when you call them out and say you stop spamming questions, they're like, well, he's not answering, or they'll at me directly and be like, why are you ignoring chat? And it's like, well, because if I was always reading chat, we'd never be able to stick to one conversation topic. Maybe IRC KC shouldn't be bound to one account. Yeah, possibly. So I haven't. It's something that I've been thinking about, and I haven't come to a readily available conclusion yet, whether the solution is to just kind of go back to Twitch and kind of try to build a stream more organically over there, or to maybe just keep this going, but maybe do more like unlisted streams like this. If you spam the same question, he won't answer. Yeah, but the thing is that it's not so much a rule thing, because it's not so much a I feel like it's a problem that can't necessarily be solved with rules. It's a problem that because I think people like that are just going to ignore the rules, and if you can ban them, but there'll be like 1,000 more in their place, or they'll be like or they'll just get mad and be like, I can't believe you banned me for no reason. It's definitely about keeping to the topics to have a more consistent stream. Yeah, I think it's that's why I almost feel like the YouTube streams, they've been better when I've ignored the chat more, which is completely counterintuitive. But I feel like that when I can just kind of stick to one rabbit hole at a time, then I feel like they're more enjoyable to watch. Otherwise, I'm just kind of rambling about tech, and I feel like that's not what people aren't going to keep coming back to watch me ramble about tech. if it's not a Q&A stream, it's completely justified to overlook things. Yeah, I know. It's just that it's a hard balance, I find, because I want to look at chat and I want to be able to have things evolve from chat. Like I said, the Bill Gates Xbox thing I think was a lot of fun, and that kind of really organically evolved from chatting back and forth with chat. Whereas, but if the chat is full of asking what I think of Garfield and Android custom ROMs, it's hard to kind of keep that consistency. And like I said, maybe I'm just thinking of maybe the stream is just too big, maybe it's just too many people. But I also feel like that many people with the right culture would probably as people have said here, if there are hundreds of viewers hundreds of viewers on a Twitch stream is usually much more manageable than hundreds of viewers on a YouTube stream. The YouTube stream with the YouTube chat goes fucking crazy. So it's a hard thing for me to. Well, I'm still thinking about how I want to solve that, as far as having more people. Well, how much of it is just more people, how much of it is culture, and how much of it is just how much I can do about it, I suppose. Maybe just post stream announcements on YouTube. Yeah, I could. I could either just go back to Twitch or keep do something, do more stuff like this, where it's an unlisted YouTube stream but with my own chat. That depends a little bit on how much we like this chat over Twitch, whether people would feel it was just more convenient to go back to Twitch if we were, because if we weren't going to bother doing it publicly. On YouTube, there are little kids who don't know what's 9 plus 10, 21. Mm-hmm. For me, as a person that came from YouTube, I can say that most of the viewers on YouTube don't have time to watch 2 to 3 hour streams. I think that everyone on YouTube wants to have their message read. Yeah, I think that's kind of something that I'm coming around to realizing, is that it's not, as I keep saying, the culture. The culture on Twitch is we want to watch a live stream. We want to kind of be involved in a live stream, and it's about making live content, for lack of a better word. Whereas on YouTube, it's more about, oh, this creator I really like is live. That means I can get their attention. Could have both kinds of streams. Yeah, I've thought about that. I could keep maybe most of them unlisted, and then do a public one every now and then, or something like that. Or the other way around. I think all you can do is ignore discussions to agree and have moderators enforce a no spamming questions. If it doesn't get answered, it doesn't get answered. Sure, I mean, I think that's true, and that over time the culture might just build from there. But yeah, breach the TOC stream to both at once for megalols. God, good. I wonder what it would be. I wonder what it would be like if I streamed to Twitch with Twitch chat, and then also streamed to YouTube with YouTube chat disabled. But no, I guess that's kind of what I'm thinking about, is maybe it was because my idea of streaming to YouTube was I wanted to I guess I felt like I had an audience on YouTube that a lot of them just had no idea that I streamed at all, and that I wanted to kind of advertise that, hey, I do streams to them, and but that's why I was saying earlier that a lot of streamers, they start their stream from zero and kind of build it up from there, whereas I'm kind of starting in media res. I'm starting from an established user base, and so there's no culture yet. There's no built-in culture yet that kind of evolved organically, and maybe that's what I should be doing instead, is focusing on is kind of not necessarily trying to port the YouTube audience over at all, and just and more just trying um, to to build up something organically elsewhere with with the new audience. Didn't know that you were streaming until Pyongyang race video where I saw chat. Yeah, and that's another thing. YouTube starts. You used to be able to post announcement videos on YouTube and say, "Hey, I'm streaming." I mean, it probably tanks you in the algorithm, because if the YouTube sees that you're uploading videos frequently that get like no views, they're probably like, "Okay, we're gonna stop recommending this channel." So it probably does. It's probably really shit for your algorithm rankings, but at least you used to be able to post videos and kind of let people know. However, you can't do that anymore, because apparently people start getting terminated for that nowadays. Require people to get a running instance of Lego Island on modern Windows. Yeah, how many hoops can we get people to jump through before they can they're allowed to chat? I mean, people are already get pissed off with the 10-minute requirement. I mean, I think having to have a KC chat account for 10 minutes helps a lot as far as filtering out spam, because it means that, I mean, probably a lot of people just don't bother. They see it'll take 10 minutes and they're like, fuck that, and they just leave. But it also means that people, unlike on YouTube, people can't just kind of show up and start shitting up the chat and do nothing. YouTube subs will usually follow you regardless of where you're streaming, as long as you're sticking to your guns. Much the same way Twitch streamers run clips channels on YouTube for monetization stonks, as well as bringing in new viewers. Maybe the thing is, it's notoriously difficult to convert a YouTube audience into a live audience, and perhaps that's looking at it the wrong way anyway. Perhaps you shouldn't be thinking about. Perhaps they're just completely different audiences, right? Perhaps it's it's probably quite true that people who watch Twitch, by and large, also watch YouTube. However, it's not necessarily the case vice versa. People who watch YouTube probably don't necessarily watch Twitch. It's probably if we use like exaggerated figures, it's probably 99% of Twitch people watch YouTube, but maybe only 1% of YouTube people watch live streams, if that makes sense. 1,000% cleaner chat. I hate streaming to YouTube. Always spam bots within 1 minute, and they bring their fellow bots too. Yep. That's what I found. I did 3 streams, I think, on YouTube chat, and it was unbelievably unmanageable. YouTube Shorts. Yeah, people hate YouTube Shorts as well. People, if it depends on your audience, because obviously some subset of the user base really likes shorts, and they like TikTok, and they like Instagram stories, and etc. But I found that I posted one short where it was me going to the XP wallpaper location, and I figured it didn't really make sense to make a whole video about it, because there wasn't that much content in it. It was just like kind of mildly interesting, so I made a short out of it. And a lot of a not insubstantial amount of the comments were, "Don't fucking make YouTube shorts," or "I was really looking forward to this video and then I discovered it was a fucking short," which is kind of funny, because like, I get it. I get that, if you had an expectation that you were going to watch one thing and it ended up being something else, I get that it's a little bit frustrating. But it's interesting, because so many people because I got advice from a lot of people saying like, "Oh yeah, you should start making shorts. The shorts are doing really well on YouTube." And I made one short, and people were really pissed off. Which, like I said, I get it. And I think my audience isn't necessarily like, it's I'm not necessarily a what you might call a mainstream creator. I'm not like a Logan Paul or a Jake Paul, and I think so. I think my audience is a little bit, for lack of a better word, a little bit alternative, and and that kind of audience is perhaps a little bit more conservative, or that they're not as trendy, I suppose, if that makes sense. Yeah. One of the reasons I installed a modded YouTube client on my phone is to review YouTube Shorts. I'll be honest, I don't watch YouTube Shorts, and I don't really like Shorts, so I fall into that category as well of someone who would not watch Shorts. But it's funny how, well, I think what's funny is that people act like there's a 3-step program to like doing YouTube, and that you can just and that of course you should just be doing shorts. That's the new big thing. But like, you have to kind of tailor advice like that to your own kind of brand and your own kind of audience. Like, just because something is new and trendy doesn't necessarily mean that your audience is going to accept it, or that even you, it might be completely off brand for you. I'd argue it probably is completely off brand for me. But anyway, I'm just kind of rambling now. I'm just kind of talking about random random stuff as a creator. Many TikTok videos are so fucking cringe. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Here's one of my favorites. Gosh, what was it? My TLTR, we are neckbeards. That's a, I don't necessarily think that. I think it's just different sensibilities. You can't if you like, some people are very mainstream and they do things that are very mainstream. They do like and when there's a trend, they hop on it. And I'm not really like that. When there's I don't really follow trends. I in fact almost specifically don't, because all of my all my all the subjects I cover are from like 25 years ago. But yeah, but so I think you just have to, it's a learning process to figure out like what you should do and what you shouldn't do, I suppose. I like the idea of YouTube Shorts, a separate category, bringing back the old style of short form YouTube content, but the implementation sucks for desktop users. That's also true. Yeah, and I've never really, I'll be honest, I've never been a huge fan of like short form content. So like, I totally get, I totally get people not being into short form content, because I've never really been into short form content. I remember I made I was never like, I remember when all my friends were into Vine. I never cared about Vine. I installed TikTok for like 2 months, but I never actually never used it much more than that. The recommendations on shorts are pretty shit, but digging deeper you can get some funny clips. Yeah, probably. I mean, there's some decent stuff on shorts. The other thing about shorts is, of course, it's very mobile centric, mobile first, and that's another thing that I and probably my audience are not like super into, is because we like computers, right? So yeah, I just get gun vids in my shorts recommended. Holy shit. Yeah, usually I'm getting I'm usually just getting like random meme shit. I watched a video of a random kid eating a burger. That's funny. Yeah, it's like I said, the conventional wisdom is you should get into shorts. You know, I even get emails on my business email of people saying like, we noticed you don't have a lot of shorts. You should really get into shorts and hire us to make them for you. And I'm like, that's all right. That's all right. I tried it once because everyone was like, you got to start making shorts. I tried it once and it was all right. It was fine. Now that you think of it, it would be a great way for me to get into animation, given that it's like you only need a few seconds of it to get a viable short, unlike with YouTube's overall 5 to 10 minute minimum. That's true. Shorts could be an interesting way to do animation if it's like monetizable enough. I'm gonna open YouTube and tell you all what my first short recommendation is. Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, I've I guess those are my how long has it been? It can't have been super long. I feel like it's only been 2 weeks. My 2 weeks in opinions on streaming on YouTube. I think I really like the custom chat. And I know that I wrote it and that's like so I'm probably biased. And I'm not trying to like, but anyway, I like the custom chat, but I haven't quite figured out how to solve the problem of culture, and maybe it is just going to be going back to Twitch, or maybe it is just doing more unlisted streams like this and just kind of trying to build up a stream organically, and trying to let me think, trying to use a post. I have a clips channel, and we could push that more to get more people onto this stream or onto Twitch. That might be, perhaps that's the solution, right? And then occasionally a video or two could turn into a main channel video, or a stream or two could turn into a main channel video when it's like interesting enough. Let me see. I'm taking a look at. Forgot what I was doing. It was an ADHD moment. But how long have I been doing custom chat streaming on YouTube? I guess I've done 4, and it was it's not even 2 weeks. It's a week and a half. It seems. Oh no. No, it has been. It's been 12 days since I did my first. I think. The problem is they're all unlisted now, so I can't tell which ones were public at the time. Anyway, so how are you all doing? I've rambled on for like an hour. What are you guys up to? How has your last couple days been? Have to go shower? That's a good idea. You should go shower. Oh my god. I'm just looking at this custom PC setup in the Discord. Hang on, I have a photo. I'll send that in as well, so you guys can see. Mine is very similar to that, actually. And if you're thinking, that looks like it's sitting on... that looks like a fire hazard, and it looks like it's sitting on some envelopes. You're right. Here, this. This is my current PC setup. I'm looking at that right now underneath my monitor. Creating boot videos for the original Xbox. Hell yeah, that's fun. My last couple of days been that Windows finally made me just exhausted enough to install Arch. One of us. Um, yeah, I'm not. I know it's a, I know it's a cliche at this point, but I'm not a big fan of Windows. I even did something kind of odd recently. I have a PC hooked into my TV, and it's like exclusively for games. It's just for emulators and the occasional Steam game. And it used to be running, it was running Windows obviously because that it just makes sense. If you're running a gaming PC, it should run Windows. But I just, I've gotten progressively sick of Windows over time. It was also Windows 11, which I have some problems with. I mean, I also had a lot of problems with Windows 10, but I also don't like. I'm not a huge fan of Windows 11's taskbar and right-click menu. And eventually,
One of us, one of us, one of us, comma, one of us, one of us, one of us, comma, one of us, one of us,
comma.
one of us, comma, one of us, one of us, one of us, comma, one of us, one of us, one of us, comma, one of us, one of us, one of us.
Thank you so much for the donation. I thought my machine was bad. Yep, you thought, bitch. There are a lot of wires. I will grant you that. And yes, this is a Wii sensor bar. If you just wanted to know how much of a troglodyte I am, that is a Wii sensor bar. You're welcome. But yeah, I've gotten so sick of Windows recently that I eventually just ended up reinstalling Linux on it, or installing Linux on it instead, which I know is kind of a weird choice for a gaming PC. It's I even felt like it was a dumb thing to do while I was doing it, but I kind of justified it in that most of the stuff I do on there is emulators. Most emulators will run on Linux, and honestly, almost every Steam game I play runs fine in Proton. So I kind of figured that I couldn't think of a game that I really wanted to play that wouldn't play if I installed Linux instead. And what's nice about that is that all the emulators can be installed through the package manager, which means they automatically update. So I don't have to, there's not a bunch of loose executables around on the hard drive. So that's my so I've even it's an all Linux household now. Even my old gaming PC plugged into my TV is running Linux now. Recently have been playing a lot on the Steam Deck, realizing a lot of games just work now, so I was thinking I switched to Krita for art, so is there any reason I still need Windows? Not really, so I installed Endeavour, set up Zenkernel, and here I am. Nice. One thing I'm missing out on is Android emulator for Arknights. There's some interesting Android stuff on Linux. There's something called, I think it's Wayfire? Wayfair? There's a thing where you can, it's like, it'll use the Linux kernel, which Android uses as well, and it'll just do a bunch of like containerization to let you run Android apps semi-natively on Linux. I guess it's kind of like Wine, something like that. So, yeah, you should look into that. I've played around with it before, and it works, but I don't have a lot of Android apps I need to run. Wham's PC setup is bad, but Matt's, oh my. Yep, I know. It's not good. Soon, I'll have my PC case. That was Matt's setup. I'm afraid so. The thing is that when I have a lot going on. So there's always stuff that I need to I'm always like plugging things in and unplugging them, and so there's eventually just cables amass and they get strewn around everywhere. So soon I'll have a PC case and it'll be fine. Everything will be all right. I thought that was a joke image. Yeah, it was. I was just joking, guys. Funny joke. Haha. Get it? But it's okay. Like I said, my PC case, I'd say it's about 85, 90% there. I just need to mount a couple more things, and then it's ready to go. Android TV x86 is neat, but sadly DRM support is oh shit. That's interesting. I think I have a. I think that's what it is. I have the new Chromecast, which I think has Android TV or has Google TV. I actually don't know what the difference is between them. But interesting that you can port that to x86. I guess you could probably use a really low-powered PC and make a media center out of it with that. Is a Wayland compositor. Which one am I thinking about? I'm thinking about something. Waydroid. It's called Waydroid. Of course it is. Of course it's called Waydroid because it has to end with droid. Have you ever thought about a PC converting a G5 case? Got one here I wanted to build 3 years ago, but then the PC market happened. I actually have thought of doing that, and I have some bad news. So I thought about doing this when I was like 19 and I had no money. So I couldn't, and I was living in Australia and in a small town, and so I couldn't really get my hands on one of these cheaply. If I wanted a G5 or a Mac Pro, it would cost me probably with somewhere between $100 to $200. It was more money than I had at the time, and but at one point, a guy had listed a broken Power Mac G5 on eBay. And it was like, because I live in a small town, nothing is nearby. You can't local pick up anything. This was all the way up in somewhere in Queensland, I think. And I was like, but it's cheap. And so I messaged saying, would you mind shipping to where I live? And he was like, well, okay, if you're willing to pay the postage on it, sure. And I was like, cool. Because the postage, I think, was only I think the system itself was God, I would be guessing if I was giving you any real numbers. The G5 case isn't that great for PCs, TVH. They have minimal drive base and stuff. I could see that, but I thought it'd be a cool idea anyway. And so I bought this and I paid the shipping, whatever it was. It was cheap enough for me to actually do it, which just buying a G5 or Mac Pro wouldn't have been, apparently. Because I genuinely don't remember what the actual figures were in with this, but he messaged me and he said, "Oh, it's really heavy and it's really big. I don't know, a lot of places are saying they won't ship it, and that eventually he found somewhere that would ship it, and he shipped it." This took like months because it took him a while to figure out like how to mail this to me, and eventually he sent it, and it turned out he sent it with no box, so it was just this with a like postage sticker slapped on the top of it. And when I got it, it was all scratched to hell. It was all dented and dinged, and I was like, well, damn, I don't know if I'm gonna use this. No, because the whole point is how it looks, and I don't really blame him necessarily, because it felt like he wasn't initially going to ship it. Initially it was going to be local. Like initially he had it listed as local pickup, and asked him if he would ship it, and he went out of his way to do it. So I don't know if I necessarily blame him, because he was never planning to ship it in the first place, and it like took him a long time to figure out how to ship it. But when I got it, it was almost unusable. I was just like, well, damn, okay. I guess I own this now, but I don't think I can use it. Where's the Vine boom sound effect? Hold on, I'll bring it up. And he shipped it to me with no box. Oh shit, it was muted. And he shipped it to me with no box. Oh, that's a bass boosted one. I don't need a bass boosted one. There we go. And all it was just the Power Mac G5 with a postage sticker stuck on top of it. And I actually did try to peel off the sticker, but obviously those things are designed to stay on, because the shit gets rustled around in postage. So So yeah, I got as far as getting a broken Power Mac G5 to try and do this, but it did not arrive in any kind of shape that that I could actually do what I wanted to do. That was the monkey's paw, I guess. I kind of feel like if I had to kind of twist his arm a little bit to mail it in the first place. I mean, I don't think I twisted his arm. I just asked him, and he was like, "Well, all right, I guess I could if you paid the postage." And I was like, "Cool." But if I had to like convince him to do it, then I kind of feel like, well, you know, I can't really expect that he would have done a really good job in posting it. But you know, whatever. Mine has a couple scratches, but I sprayed it black and have a stencil for Windows logos to put it. Oh my god, really? I was gonna... The Moyai Sad version is more appropriate. Oh my lord. I actually don't know if I've heard this before, but it's quite good. I put on the forum someone who painted a G5 in the worst way possible. Yeah, let's actually look at that. I know what you're talking about. No light theme today. Yeah, I've seen this before. I saw this in some like vintage Apple group of some kind. But yeah, look at this. So, so I know what they're trying to go for with this. What they're trying to do is one of these. They're trying to do a blue and white G3 look. But I don't know if it really worked out for them. This is a much more like sea green than this. Which, and I guess, you know, I know it's subjective. I mean, the iMac was called Bondi Blue, so, you know, obviously it is a pretty sea green. But I think it's a bit of, it's certainly an uglier shade. And and this is the worst thing ever. Oh god. Name something worse than this. The unscented, no gap between the leaf and the apple logo on the side. I hate this. I hate this. Ugh. I almost want to bring this into Photoshop and censor it for them just for my own personal satisfaction. Oh, and the Jeep. It's not this I'll say is not a terrible job. At least it's like consistent. Here it gets a little bit shakier. I mean, around the GPU. I don't know about that so much. And the keys, oh god, I didn't even notice this before. On the delete key, ooh, and the volume key, ooh, did you have to? Did you have to do that? Couldn't you have just taken the keycaps off? And why? How did those get paint on them? They painted over the power button? No. No way. Ugh. Oh god, you can't even see it anymore. Oh, that's awful. It's awful. And I honestly, this one in particular is pure pain. This picture, my god, I hate this so much. They took nothing apart. Oh, no. No, does that mean that, like... Oh, God. Oh, God. So if they, like, sprayed in here, is that gonna get all over the motherboard? Oh, I hate that. I hate that. At least take it apart. Why the apple eating the straw? Is it? Oh yeah, it's like it because there's no gap because it's really the stencil is really badly done. You can see how it's green. Oh no. Not that fan, I assume. Oh no, actually that fan, you should have taken that off, right? Because you could like unscrew that. Ew. Ugh. 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 Yeah. Well, if I was him, I wouldn't post a lot of great photos either. Gosh, no gap. No gap whatsoever. How depressing. How absolutely depressing. I mean, good try. Good try. But, well, I don't know. Does that even apply? Maybe it's a bad try. Maybe they were speedrunning the mod. Maybe. Maybe. Ew. Oh, God. So I wonder if it feels like when you're touching the Apple logo, because the button itself. What is this piece of shit? Oh, nothing. Just it's, as you can see, it's a piece of art. Just art, everyone. So yeah, because you're supposed to have this like brushed aluminium power button. God, I've been here for too long. It's supposed to have this brushed button. It's supposed to feel kind of nice. Does that mean? But now it's just going to feel like paint, right? Going back and wow, that's ugly. I like how there's a general consensus that it's just not very good. How much did he have to sell this for? It was like he had to like reduce the price a bunch to like $100 or something because no one would buy it for the original price. So around £300, but it's for £50. Yikes, Jesus. Hey Ant Venom, yeah, hey Ant Venom. I remember you from TwitchCon, and I know you. I know you're a big YouTuber. For some reason, I've never seen any of your videos. I'm sorry about that, but I should. A lot less than I initially asked. Hell yeah, he deserved it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Couldn't you have at least? Because there's an Apple logo on it, right? Couldn't you have like traced around it with like tape or something, and then something like that? There must have. I feel like I'm in an infomercial right now. There must have been a better way. 50 British pounds, 50 quid. Yes, yes indeed. Oh, by the way, what a horrible setup. Couldn't be me. Anyway. Always funny when you randomly see somebody who has a significant part of your childhood and/or somebody you watch a lot, and they're just in chat casually. Yeah, it is. Let me think. That's definitely happened to me, but I can't remember when. Friend of mine casually talked to Pyrocynical in a Discord VC. My God, I have to say, and this will sound like this will sound really, really pretentious. It really will. But a lot of the people I grew up watching, I eventually, well, not a lot, but a couple of the people that I grew up watching, I did eventually, as my YouTube channel grew, get to collaborate with, which is really nice. It's a really it's an incredibly rewarding experience, and I feel like I feel really lucky that I've been able to do that. Anyway, these custom painted Apple computers are worse than Velma. You mean the new show? I know that's controversial, but I don't know much about it. That new show, yeah, I getcha. I have a Wii that displays a black image. I replaced the caps, but still nothing. Even left it plugged in for half an hour and nothing. Any idea how to fix it? Sorry, I don't. And I can't really provide tech support in chat. Yeah, you'll have to figure that out yourself, I'm afraid. But check out Shank's Wii modding guide. So that's how it feels doing YouTube. I think the thing is, there are creators. It's all about like. There are creators that I watch now that obviously have no idea who I am. It's just sort of. I think I just got really lucky in like a couple of circumstances where there was enough crossover that it was like kind of like, hey, we could actually do something together. You're gonna provide tech support or you're dead. Oh boy. Oh no. But yeah, I always like to collaborate with people. I always, yeah, I'm always, my YouTube channels usually there's not much collaboration involved, so I always welcome the opportunity. I was lurking when you were talking about content creation being not quite as easy as it used to be. I'm in the middle of a huge period of burnout, deciding when or even if I want to return to it. Yeah, I know how you feel. YouTuber burnout is a funny thing. I mean, it happens to everyone. And it happens to everyone because YouTube almost invariably forces you to do a couple of things that you may not have necessarily prepared for. When you start as a YouTuber, you might just be someone who likes talking about games. You might be or you might be someone who likes doing makeup or something like that. And then if you get lucky enough that ends up blowing up on YouTube, then what you almost invariably become is not necessarily you do become someone who talks about games or does makeup or anything like that, but what you become more of is probably a video editor and a business owner. That's probably what ends up taking up most of your time. And so what may have started as kind of a simple special interest kind of thing becomes kind of a job doing some very specific things, and things that I think oftentimes people are not prepared for, and because they've had to become a business owner, their own business, and work for themselves, they've had to learn how to work, how to motivate themselves. And usually what happens is when you learn how to motivate yourself, you learn how to get up every day and tell yourself to work, is that you don't, it then takes a while to then tell yourself, or to then learn how to not work, because you kind of feel like everything relies on you. It's all down to, like, if you work a couple more hours, then you get a little bit more done. You get a little bit closer to, getting that project done, getting the video out, being able to pay rent. So it's, the skills that invariably YouTubers have to learn, and usually when they start, I feel like are not necessarily don't necessarily experience in anything before that. So yeah, it's an interest. I feel like that's why. I feel like that's predominantly why burnout happens, is that you learn how to motivate yourself. You learn how to kind of take on all these responsibilities, wear all these different hats, and how to focus all your time on this one thing. But then you don't necessarily then learn when you're allowed to even take a break, when how you can feel not guilty about setting aside a couple weeks to do something, to do something that isn't necessarily going to be good for the business, like take a vacation or something like that. I think that's one of the bigger challenges. I mean, it's obviously different for everyone, but I feel like that's probably one of the bigger challenges. Do you run Plex or Kodi on your living room PC? No, I run Kodi on my Chromecast, actually. The living room PC is exclusively for games, and I just have a wireless keyboard and mouse, and I just run the emulators manually. I probably should set up some kind of easy interface, but I haven't. How glad are you that you didn't succeed as a JonTron ripoff that couldn't confidently deliver jokes? Let me think. How glad am I? I'm trying to think what it would have been like. Let's say my channel did blow up in 2017, when I was doing. I mean, I think they definitely got better over time. I think the later 2017 stuff is a lot better than the 2016 stuff. But I'm trying to think. Let's say I blew up at that exact moment. I definitely think there's... I wouldn't necessarily say it would be that much different as far as how I approach it, because I always... I feel like I always kind of put the same amount of effort into every video that I make, and it would be the same if I was doing comedy reviews. I think, but what would be different is the pressure to be funny. I think would be a lot different. Whereas, it's somewhat. In some ways, it's easier to be someone who just does projects. I try to infuse a little bit of comedy, and I try to infuse, some, high-ish production values and things like that. In the same way that I did when I was doing, the comedy reviews. But I think it would be, the pressures would be in a much different place. There's still pressures doing tech stuff, because if you get anything wrong in a tech video, people will call you an idiot and invalidate everything you say because you said one thing that was slightly incorrect. You'll be like, any small detail that you might get wrong will become the subject of like 2,000 comments and like 20,000 words worth of people complaining and calling you an idiot. So there are pressures to get things right, but it's a different pressure to being funny. I think being funny is hard. I think it looks effortless, but if it looks effortless, it means they put a lot of work into it. I'm being mega irresponsible at the moment from a business standpoint, but like I've been burnt out in one form or another since like late 2017. I feel ya. I know what you mean. I've had bursts of motivation, but now it's just like I feel repulsed to even approach working on a topic for a video. It's weird. Lately I've been feeling itching to come back, but at this point I'm just scared to burn out again. Yeah, I know how you feel. I mean, what's ironic is when I quit making comedy reviews in 2017, it was because I think I had burnt out, and there have been times where I felt burnt out doing tech videos, but that unlike 2017, I never quit because it was my job. It was how I made my living, and that obviously doesn't help either. If you're, as far as burnout goes, when you feel like you have to do it to do things, or to survive, I suppose. I got one slight detail wrong about SteamOS and Linux, and oh my god, the comments were non-stop. Yeah, some people actually use that to their advantage. Some people will get like some spelling wrong in their video on purpose so that people comment a lot to correct it, and then it boosts their video in the algorithm. And I guess if you do it intentionally, it's like, and then maybe the comments probably don't bother you. But when you get something wrong and you're like, and someone points it out and you're like, ah, shit, I shouldn't have done that. I should have researched that more. And then the next 2,000 comments come in also saying you're wrong. You're like, yeah, I know, I got it wrong. But yeah, engagement equals views. Yep. Yeah, so I know some people take that to their, or do that to their advantage. But yeah, not me. I've never done that. I've seen many comedy YouTubers like JonTron go through extreme burnout, and the quality of their content shows. Don't want to become JonTron or worse, Game Grumps. Yeah, I see what you mean. I do think it's nice that I've kind of got an audience that I don't think it's a very volatile audience. It's not like, if you're capturing the like 13 to 17-year-old market, they might be very fervent fans, but they're probably going to disappear in like a year or two because they're going to grow up, and what they like and what their thoughts are and what they enjoy is going to change over time. And I know that I do have fans in that age range, but my core demographic, at least according to YouTube, is like 18 to 30, which I feel like is probably more stable. You can probably get away with like taking more breaks, and people will still, they won't just forget about you as easily. I feel like so I feel kind of lucky in that sense. Whereas, and yeah, as you say, the comedy creators are probably in a similar kind of boat that it's hard to keep that going for a long time. I am lucky that what I do is probably something that, as long as the ideas don't become stale, as long as every video isn't just now let's run this console on AA batteries. As long as I can keep coming up with interesting ideas, I feel like people will keep watching. I wonder how many younger viewers lie about the age when they make their account. I certainly did. I said my birth year was 1985 until I was 18. So isn't that a felony? I doubt they would give you a criminal record for it, but I do think it probably is against the law in some way. Didn't the Obama administration make lying about your age online illegal? Probably. But it's probably one of those things that's really hard to enforce. It's kind of like it's kind of like how downloading MP3s is illegal. I feel like it's like, yeah, it's illegal and you could get punished for it, but it's difficult to enforce. It's always been illegal in some parts of the world, but how do you enforce it without? Yeah, that's the problem. It's just it's almost impossible to enforce reliably. Yeah. If you use the DC power supply to lower the voltage of console, could be a mega interesting rabbit hole, especially if you capture sound. But I'm here to watch mostly anything release. Hey, thanks, I appreciate that. Yeah, I've considered trying to use a DC power supply. The thing is, the only reason I haven't is because it would probably require a linear, or I should probably use a linear power supply to like reduce the noise of the signal to make it safer. It's safer for the consoles if I do, and those can be kind of expensive. So that's really the only reason I haven't. Maybe if I could find someone to borrow one from, it would work. January 1st, 2000. Damn. 11110. Cryzen actually born in 1980. Sorry about that. Yeah, I mean, what's funny is when I first started saying my birth year was 85, I was 11, and 1985 was, I think, someone born in 1985 would have been 22. Now I'm older than I said I was back then. It's time. We could spend a long time talking about time and how mindfucky that is. You could just torture a console in the name of science. Yeah. I will say, on the topic of content, it's kind of one of the reasons I've been exploring doing more streaming. I have had a bit of an ulterior motive, as it were. Not necessarily. That makes it sound really heinous. But so I did. Okay, in 2022, for 6 months out of the year, I was on a sponsorship contract that required me to release 2 videos every month, and that was January and February. So that was from this video, these 2, and one of these 3. I snuck another one in there somehow. So 4 in January and February, and then 8 between September and December. I think all of these 8. And I found that, ironically, I'd finally reached 2 videos a month, which was the goal for such a long time. It was like, yeah, and even when I didn't release 2 videos every month, I still had on my banner like 2 new videos every 2 weeks or something like that, because like that was the goal. I was like, it felt like even if I'm not there now, hopefully I will be eventually. And hopefully none of you are using a 32. Yeah, that's another thing, isn't it? So yeah, so I was doing 2 videos a month. I was finally doing roughly a video every 2 weeks. It didn't actually end up working out that way. It was usually more like a video, one video, then the next week a video, and then 3 week break, and then another video, and then the next video. What I found though was at that pace, and I'm planning on making kind of an update video to talk about this in more formally, but at that pace, it was really hard to do things that were interesting, because if I'm always thinking about like, you know, I need a video out by this day, then I can't really experiment. I can't really do anything where I don't know how long it's going to take or whether it's going to work out at all. I kind of have to, you know, that is why there were some story time videos in here, or, you know, a stream VOD, or the Wii U, Wii U video I did want to make. But yeah, I found that, and it's really conflicting, because on the one hand, it was the most financially stable I've ever been. You know, I've never in my life been that financially stable. 4 videos on one Xbox, yeah, you could argue that some of those could have been one video if there wasn't kind of a target to make videos for sponsors by given dates. And I feel like it's been kind of bad for the content. I mean, in theory, it hasn't. These videos have done really well. I mean, look at these view counts. They're really good. But I kind of miss, like, if you go back to the 2019 and 2020 videos, a lot of these were really experimental. Like, I went to fucking Japan for this one. This one, I just bought a bunch of, like, random shit to figure out what would work in a Windows 98 PC. The QR code, I mean, I had no idea if I could pull that off before I actually did it. You know, it was very... I was able to do a lot more experimental things and because I was able to spend more time on the projects. If I've got like a date that I have to do something specific by, then you can't really... It has to... The way you have to think about the project is, well, whatever I do, I have to do it in this amount of time so that the editing can start at this time, because editing always takes like 2 or 3 weeks. So, which doesn't leave a lot of room for the project. And so, what I'd kind of like to do is, I'm not by no means planning on stopping making videos, but I'd like to be able to kind of take my time a little bit more, and so not necessarily worry about uploading by specific dates for specific sponsors, and so that I can kind of do an experimental thing, like, I don't know, like build a PC case, and things like that. Just kind of projects that, you know, I may not know whether it's going to work out or not before I do them, or how long it's going to take. But I find that those are usually the more interesting ideas. And you might be thinking, well, what about this? You managed to decompile Sonic Runners is one of these videos. Well, why can't you just do more of those? Well, here's a behind the scenes scoop. This project, this decompilation, was actually done back in 2020. I actually did this probably between these 2 videos. It was it might have even been while I was working on this video, way back in 2020, again when I was able to spend more time on videos. And I only in 2022 got around to actually making the video of it. So anyone who commented like, oh shit, he doesn't know about Asset Ripper or whatever, it supports Unity 4 natively. It didn't exist when I did this project, that's why. But yeah, so my ulterior motive with streaming is hoping that I can kind of keep making videos, and keep, but kind of space them out a little bit more, so that I can spend more time doing more interesting stuff, and then try to kind of stream in the middle in between those, or even stream the progress of some of these projects, and see if it'll and try to kind, and that's how I kind of stay in touch with the audience while with my audience while while the between the videos might take some time. Anyway, that's kind of what I'm like. It's something that I'd like to try. But we'll see. We'll see if it actually works out. Hang on, I'm behind on a conversation about C#. Gosh, how did this start? C# was enough for me to nearly throw me out the window. C# is pretty good. I actually like C#. I know that it's C# is interesting because I feel like I should like Java more because Java is more cross-platform, or at least was historically. But C# I feel like is genuinely a more it's a genuinely just a cleaner language. Like when I write Java, I feel like I hate the language more than when I like C#. Using streaming in this way seems smart. I just don't know how it plays into the whole Twitch v YouTube thing. Yeah, that's kind of what I haven't worked out either. What I was saying at the start of the stream, like whether I should be building up a stream separately on Twitch, or whether I should how much I should be tying it into the YouTube. Java takes OOP way too far, like way too far. I could see that. All I know about C# is it's better than Java. Sounds right. Oracle is the company good software goes to die. Yeah, I guess that's true. Say that. I guess that's the whole point of MariaDB. The biggest complaint about Java, its syntax, is actually indicative of a bigger problem, the fact that it does full OOP. Interesting. I'll probably have to read up more about that. Because to be honest, I've written Java, but not a lot of Java. It's all the boilerplate. Yeah, I'm aware of that as well. You always have to have a bunch of like, yeah, I know what you mean. Messy standard library. Yeah, I felt that too. C# feels like what Java should be. And C# is pretty cross-platform now. Not so much the UI stuff, but the console stuff. I mean, I worked on a project recently that was C# for a C# server running on Linux, and it works great. So yeah. I once saw somebody respond to this complaint. So you like soft OOP? What you call soft OOP, I call good language design. Makes sense, makes sense. The UI stuff for cross-platform C# is so AIDS. Damn, I've never even touched it. I only know WinForms. So yeah. Anyway, so I've been kind of just chatting, having a candid chat for the last like hour and 49 minutes. What do you say? Maybe we can do something. Maybe we can play Mario Kart or GeoGuessr to finish it off. I know it's a meme. I always play a multiplayer game with chat at the end of the stream, but it's fun. It's fun to play stuff. I've had Java programs crash and be more unstable than programs written in a compiled language. Damn, I can believe that. Tetris Online. Oh, I'm not very good at Tetris Online. The problem is that if the problem with any action game is that I want to look at the chat, and if I look at the chat, then I'm taking concentration away from the game. And Tetris, multiplayer online Tetris is one of those games where, where if you if you're not concentrating, you'll probably die. Minecraft Classic Edition Online. Is there actually a Minecraft Classic Online? Because I remember I tried looking that up back in like 2011 and not finding out how to do it. Like, it felt like I still had to buy it or something like that. Roblox, oh god. Now I have to set, if I wanted to play Roblox, I'd have to set that up in Wine, because apparently it doesn't exist. How long has Matt been streaming? Today, hour 50. Oh, wow, there really is an online classic Minecraft. Great. Roblox and Wine is impossible, IRC. I thought people told me that it was very doable nowadays. As of a few months ago. There, okay, gotcha. I don't know anything. Do I look like the kind of person that regularly plays Roblox? No. Yeah. So I have absolutely no awareness. Does the URL still work? Oh, I can get people to join. All right, I guess I can get people to join. I've never done this before. I've never used classic Minecraft. I got on Minecraft back when it was still in alpha in 2010, but I never played classic. I just pirated it. Last I heard, this thing Mojang made a few years ago doesn't work anymore. I don't know. Interesting. Well, so yeah, see if you can join this lobby I made by accident. CYMKRGB says, yeehaw! I agree. The multiplayer is broken. Oh, it doesn't work. Oh, okay. Well, I guess you can just watch me do it. I can't join. Oof. Yeah, speaking of Roblox, that's unfortunate. What I really don't like, and I don't know if this is... Yeah, I know. What I really don't like about this game, as I am playing it right now, is that the jump latency is ridiculous. So I'm pressing jump. That's at least like 200 milliseconds. That's a bit stupid. GeoGuessr, Roblox, Mario Kart Wii. Let me think. Do I have anything I'm thinking of? Oh, you know what I really should play? I probably can't do it today because I haven't prepared, but I really should play Up. Because of that one YouTube stream where YouTube said I was playing Up, and I wasn't. Tommy Tallarico wants to know your location. Oof! It's okay, he didn't make that sound. Not really. My hatred of Java drove me to make a Minecraft plugin that lets you write other plugins in Lua. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I think I remember you saying that. There are ways to play the original version of MC Classic Online. Betacraft is a launcher that supports it. I don't know how many people actually play it though. Interesting. I don't know. The thing about it might not be smart to play a Minecraft game with people because Minecraft is an endless game. It could go on forever. I have to download it as well. It's going to be a challenge. Oh no, it's the jar. I don't know. I don't know if I'm feeling a big multiplayer Minecraft right now. So true. My mother's very proud, as she should be, I guess. My plugin is a few weeks old. I feel like somewhere that was mentioned. Baldi's Basics. Bringing it right back. Baldi's Basics. I wonder if I should actually try to beat that one day. What's the Up video game? Is it for the Wii? It's for... Oh, it's for everything. The Wii version is probably the funniest because it's going to be in like 480p and it's going to force me to waggle a Wiimote. It wouldn't be that one there. No, someone's done it in the past. Interesting. Oh, is this the Lua scripting module? Which version of of up video game should I get, considering I can't get a native version for Linux. I could get the Windows version and run it in Wine. It would probably run alright. I could get the Wii version, which is probably the funniest version. But I could also get other versions, I guess. Mac OS. Oh yeah, I could run that. I could run it on my GPU pass-through virtual machine. But it's a bit of work up for the Wii. Hell yeah. I do think it'd be fun to play some more like Wii shovelware on stream. I have an affinity for that sort of thing. Diep.io. I'm not insane, he says this every time he talks about the Guinness World. Yeah, no, I know exactly what you mean. Good times, good times. My mother is very proud. Which one's this? Ugh! Bro, all of them contain a sunflower, except for that one. Run it on a G5. Damn. Do you think it even supports PowerPC though? It's a 2009 game, so it's not impossible, but it might be a bit late. Oh, THQ, what a fucking fantastic publisher. High quality games. Oh. Unlucky. It might not like my VPN. Slither.io is still a thing? I think so. I know Agario is still a thing. Or Agar.io. I always call it Agario. Hey, nice. This is pretty cool. Hell, honestly, I don't need to don't need to play a game to finish off the stream. And this was just a chill small stream with 26 of my closest friends. Thank you all for hanging out. Only 3 years after the first Intel, so maybe. Yeah, maybe. The only problem is Snow Leopard dropped Intel and also came out that year, so it's like it's always up in the air when it comes to Apple backwards compatibility. Some things might support for a while, but some things might just drop it like immediately. If it is PPC, you could get a PPC QEMU-VM. Yeah, you could. The graphics acceleration would be very slow though. Very poor. Glad to call your stream. Hell yeah, thanks for stopping by. Thanks everyone for hanging out. Matt does music. Yep. Yes, indeed. If you look up Matt KC music, and you skip the result that's just some of the background music I used to use, yeah, you find a song that I've made. I'd love to make more. I just haven't had a lot of time. Like I said, when you're trying to like get videos out back to back every couple weeks, it's hard to justify experimenting with music for hours. I'm your friend. Yeah. Everyone in this chat is officially my friend. Even the spam bots that are probably here. Oh no, Disney Pixar cast for Mac. No. Oh god. Do I dare run this on the iMac G3? Ooh, that would be fun. Wait, why is there... It has a separate install and play... Oh, it's probably just a 2-disc game, right? Intel Updater. So by default, it's... Oh yeah, because this was an 06 movie. So yeah, wild. We should play the Cars game on stream. Next stream, I'm going to play Cars on stream. Do I have your blessing to create a server based on your protocol? Oh, I should mention, so you might not have been here. Yes, you can do whatever you want. However, if you I released the source to my server this morning. If you want to check it out, feel free, of course, to write your own. It's it's all open source. But oh god, I haven't actually added a license. I'll probably just put it under GPL for simplicity. So yeah, I'll probably add a GPL license. I probably should do that. But yeah, so if you want to just run a server, you can run mine now. But also, you can write your own if you'd like. I'm not a spam bot. I'm a spam droid. Ah, that's much better. 1.2 gigahertz G4 processor, no G3. Sad. That is sad. Except maybe it could be made to work anyway. Yeah, I should grab a copy of this, honestly. I won't do it now because it'll download through my VPN and that might be a little slow. Oh Jesus. It looks really good. I wrote all that documentation by only reverse engineering. Damn. Does the release source have the client too? Not yet. I have not released the client, but I guess there's no real reason I couldn't, because the client source code is technically already public because it's just unobfuscated JavaScript. But yeah, technically we've always had the source for the client. Yeah, but I'll probably put it in a repo at some point just for easy access. Cars.dmg in all caps. All right. Well, thank you all for hanging out with me. I think I will just get off, and then I'll stop streaming. But yeah, thanks all for hanging out and listening to me ramble. It's been nice to stream with just the core people again. No GeoGuessr. Yeah, not today. I don't think. Yeah, but I want to contribute to it. Yeah, I getcha. So yeah, thanks for everyone for hanging out. Oh, and I'll go ahead and show you my new BRB screen. I hacked this together last night because I had nothing better to do. And I'll use my BRB screen as my leaving screen. So when it says "be right back," what I actually mean is I'll be back in like a couple days. So, so I'll see you guys in a couple days. I will either thank you for the donation, bread pudding. That's so nice. Let me know when you get stream notifications so I can join earlier. Hell yeah. So I'm thinking about, well, next stream, maybe it'll be on Twitch, maybe it'll be on here again. Still haven't yet figured that out, but where's the Arthur icon for the chat? You mean this one? Anyway, so I'll go ahead and show you my BRB screen, and I'll head off, and I'll see you guys in a couple of days. All right, see you. Please do Twitch. I want Twitch. Yeah, it might be on Twitch. We'll see. See how I feel. Maybe we'll talk about it more in the Discord. Wait, is your name? Yes, but why? All right, see ya.